Do you still have to wake up 2, 3, or even 4 times every night just to use the bathroom? You might think it's just an annoying part of getting older. But what if I told you it could be a sign that your prostate is silently crying for help? And here's something even more shocking. The way you drink water, the way you move after a meal. And yes, even how often you ejaculate could be protecting your prostate or silently harming it without you even knowing. Welcome to Aging Health Vital Guide, where we preserve profound stories and find peace in our golden years. If you find that what we share brings you comfort and meaning, please hit the subscribe button and leave a comment below. Your companionship is the greatest gift that helps us continue to spread love. I'm Dr. Charles, a urologist with over 30 years of experience helping men over 60 protect their vitality, reclaim their control, and extend their health into their final years. And today, I'm here to tell you what most other doctors won't. Over my career, I've seen thousands of men from all walks of life: engineers, farmers, teachers, veterans, men who were initially skeptical just like you might be right now. But when they gave these changes a chance, they saw results. And not just in their bodies but in their sense of control, their energy, and their confidence. I know that for some of you, these habits may not be enough. Maybe your symptoms have progressed, maybe you've tried everything and you're still stuck. That's why I've prepared something special, something I've been quietly introducing to my patients. Deeper, faster relief is needed. It's a 15-second natural habit. Before bed, it helps reduce prostate swelling and restore normal bathroom habits without drugs or side effects. If you're curious, you'll find the link in the description and top comment below. You deserve to feel strong again. You deserve to sleep. You deserve to live without shame or hesitation. And the best time to start taking care of your prostate is right now. If you like this video and find it useful, please subscribe and share this video. Your support helps us continue to create meaningful content. Let's spread hope and health together. Sleep became a chain of awakenings. David lay in bed, staring at the dark ceiling, listening to the clock tick, counting every second that passed. He remembered the days he could sleep for 8 hours straight without interruption. He remembered the feeling of waking up refreshed, full of energy, and ready to face a new day. Now he woke up tired, sluggish, and with a deep sense of disappointment. The daytime fatigue seeped into every aspect of his life. He lacked the energy to play with his grandchildren. He lost interest in his old hobbies, and worst of all, it strained his relationship with his wife. One of my patients, a man named David, once told me through tears, "My wife says she loves me, but she can't sleep with me anymore because I'm in and out of the bathroom all night. I feel like a burden. I just want a good night's sleep for both of us." They had tried everything. Coffee, reduced. Alcohol, cut to a minimum. They drank herbal teas their friends recommended, bought bottles of pills at the pharmacy with flashy promises. But nothing truly worked. The symptoms would temporarily subside and then return, stronger than before. The desperation grew. Throughout my career, I was trained to prescribe medications, to schedule surgeries. I was taught that these symptoms were an unavoidable part of the aging process. I accepted that until I met a man named John. John, a 67-year-old veteran with calloused hands and a will of steel forged by a lifetime of hard work. He had survived combat, raised a happy family, and built a successful construction company. But when he sat across from me, I could see the absolute exhaustion in his eyes. He wasn't the strong man I had seen in the photo on his office wall. He told me, his voice heavy with fatigue, "Doctor, I've tried everything. Pills, supplements, everything. Nothing works. I just want one night of full sleep. I just want my wife to be happy. I just want to feel normal again." His story changed the way I viewed medicine forever. It wasn't just about treating a body part. It was about treating a person, the whole person. I realized these men weren't just struggling with their prostates. They were struggling with their self-esteem, with their connection to their wives, and with their sense of control over their lives. So I started digging deeper. I went back to research, I spoke to colleagues, and I started experimenting with what I'm about to share with you today: 5 small habits. 5 simple changes. And they completely transformed John's life, and the lives of hundreds of other men. But here's the most important part. One of these habits, something most men are taught to be ashamed of or too embarrassed to ask about, is actually the most powerful key. So stay with me. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal these 5 habits one by one, and I'll tell you exactly why they work. By the end of this video, you'll be armed with a simple, inexpensive plan to reclaim your health, your sleep, and ultimately your life. And that fifth habit, trust me, is going to be the most surprising of all. Welcome to Aging Health Vital Guide, where meaningful stories and peace for our golden years are found. If you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any other videos designed to help you reclaim your life. And if you find this meaningful, type the number 1 in the comments section. I'm listening, and your feedback helps me make these videos better for you. Habit number 1. Intentional hydration. The key to an uninterrupted night's sleep. Over the years in my practice, I've had countless men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s come to me with the same frustrating problem. I'll never forget David, a retired teacher at 73. He was a jovial man, but his eyes held a deep weariness. "Doctor," he said, his voice dropping, "I wake up 4 or 5 times a night. It's driving me crazy. I can't sleep. I'm tired all day, and I've tried cutting down on coffee, I've tried pills, nothing works. And almost every time, my first question is, tell me about how and when you drink water." That's when everything begins to click. Because most men think the goal is simply to drink more water. But the real secret lies in when you drink it. Let me explain this to you simply because it is more important than you think. As we age, 2 crucial biological changes happen that can wreak havoc on your sleep. First, our bladder loses some of its elasticity. It's like a balloon that's been inflated and deflated many times. Over time, it can't hold as much air, or in this case fluid, as it once could. Second, your prostate, a walnut-sized gland just below your bladder, tends to enlarge after age 60. This is called benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH. This enlarged prostate starts to put pressure on the urethra, the tube that carries urine out. That pressure is like a kink in a hose, slowing the flow and making it harder to completely empty your bladder. The result is, your bladder always has a little leftover urine, which creates a constant urge to go. So what happens if you load up on fluids in the evening? Your bladder fills up while you're sleeping. And since it can't hold as much as it used to and your prostate is squeezing it, you are forced to wake up repeatedly. It's a never-ending cycle of interruption. But here's where one tiny change makes a massive impact. I tell my patients to front-load their water intake. That means drinking the majority of your water between the time you wake up and about 3 p.m. After that, you start tapering off, and by the time the clock hits 6 p.m., you should only be taking small sips when you are truly thirsty. Not out of habit, not because you're bored. Just listen to your body and time your water intake intentionally. Now you might be thinking that sounds too simple to be effective. But I've had men come back just a week later and tell me, "Doctor, I only woke up once last night." Others said, "I slept through the night for the first time in months." That's not a coincidence. That's a body responding to a smarter rhythm. It's a sign that your bladder and your prostate have finally been given a rest while you sleep. There's even science behind it. A study published in the Journal of Urology found that men who changed the timing, not the volume, of their water intake reported a 30% to 40% reduction in nighttime urination. That's a huge number. And all it took was a change in when they drank. Think of it as a way for you to reclaim control. Instead of letting your bladder dictate when you have to wake up, you are proactively taking charge. It creates a sense of agency and control that so many men feel they've lost. This small change creates a positive domino effect. Improved sleep leads to a better mood, more energy, and sharper focus during the day. This, in turn, reduces stress, which is another factor that harms prostate health. As you adopt this habit, you'll begin to notice a subtle but significant difference. Your nights become more peaceful, uninterrupted. Your body has time to rest and repair, which is crucial for long-term prostate health. And because you are no longer experiencing constant sleep fragmentation, you wake up feeling more refreshed and energized. It's a ripple effect that starts with a single decision to drink smarter. This may seem like a minor adjustment, but if you've been struggling with interrupted sleep, chronic fatigue, or even just the feeling of helplessness that comes with constantly having to run to the bathroom, this is one of the gentlest and most effective things you can do. And the best part is, there are no side effects, no prescriptions, just your own awareness and a willingness to try something new. Now, if you think changing the timing of your water is powerful, wait until you see what happens when you change how you move, specifically after a meal. This next habit may be the easiest of all, yet it has an impact on your prostate that most doctors never mention: and it can change everything. Habit number 2. The strategic 15-minute walk after a meal. Not long ago, a man named Frank, 72 and recently retired, sat across from me in my office, his face etched with frustration. He had been taking every supplement, following every diet, and had even tried medication, but his prostate symptoms weren't improving. "I'm doing all the right things," he told me. "So why am I still waking up at night, feeling that urge all day long?" I asked him a single question: "What do you do after you eat?" He looked at me, a puzzled expression on his face. "Nothing," he replied. "I sit down, maybe watch the news." That moment changed everything for him, and it can for you too. You see, what you do immediately after you eat affects your prostate more than you've ever been told. After you eat a meal, your blood sugar naturally rises. That's normal. But if it goes too high and stays high, it causes inflammation. And inflammation is one of the root causes of prostate swelling. It doesn't matter how clean your diet is, how many supplements you're taking, or how much water you're drinking. If your blood sugar is constantly spiking and crashing, your prostate is always going to be agitated. But there's a surprisingly simple solution. Just take a gentle 10 to 15-minute walk right after your main meal. You don't need a gym. You don't need to break a sweat. Just walk around your house, around your neighborhood, or even in place if the weather is bad. This gentle movement signals your muscles to absorb the glucose in your blood, which blunts those sudden sugar spikes, calms inflammation, and promotes better blood flow. All of this helps your prostate to be more stable and less swollen. There is real science behind this. A study published in the journal Diabetes Care found that a 15-minute walk after a meal was more effective at controlling blood sugar than a single 45-minute walk at any other time of day. That means your body isn't just benefiting from the exercise, it's benefiting from the timing. And for men with an enlarged prostate, that is critical because it's not just about being active, it's about being smart about when you're active. Frank took my advice. He started walking after lunch and dinner every day, just puttering around his yard with his dog. 2 weeks later, he came back with tears in his eyes. "I slept all the way through the night," he told me. "I haven't done that in years." And it wasn't just his sleep. His urge to urinate had lessened, his flow had improved, and he felt a calmer, more controlled sense of being. The results we chase with pills, but here they came from walking. What I love about this habit is how effortless it is. You are not being asked to completely change your life, just to take a few gentle steps after you eat. It's a moment to breathe, to digest, and to tell your body that you are on its side. When done consistently, this small act becomes a powerful signal of healing, especially for your prostate. And if you think that's surprising, wait until you see what happens when you target the muscles no one talks about. Because deep within your body, there's a hidden group of muscles that controls everything from your urinary flow to your sexual function. And strengthening them could be the missing link your prostate has been waiting for. Habit number 3. Gentle pelvic floor activation. I'll never forget the look on David's face when I asked him about his pelvic floor. David, a quiet, proud 68-year-old, had spent most of his life working with his hands. His hands were calloused, but his eyes were full of bewilderment as I brought up a topic he had never considered. "Isn't that something women do after childbirth?" he asked, both laughing and confused. Little did he know it was the very key to his problems. I smiled and said, "David, we men have a pelvic floor too, and right now it's probably begging for attention. Most men are never told this, but right underneath your body, running like a supportive hammock between your pubic bone and your tailbone, is a group of muscles that is critical to your bladder, bowel, and even your prostate function. These muscles are often called the PC, pubococcygeus, muscles, and they are the unsung heroes of your body. When you're young, you don't think about them. They just do their job naturally, holding things in and helping things to flow smoothly. But with age, and especially after 60, they begin to silently, gradually weaken, until you notice the signs. Urinary dribbling, a weak stream, the urge to go right after you've just gone, and a persistent, indescribable heavy feeling in your lower region that you can't ignore. The truth is, strengthening these muscles is one of the most powerful, non-invasive things you can do to support your prostate, and it's not complicated at all. I teach my patients a simple, easy-to-remember exercise. Imagine you are trying to stop the flow of urine midstream, I say. Squeeze those muscles, hold for 5 seconds, and then release. Do that 10 times twice a day. Takes less than 3 minutes. You can do it while you're brushing your teeth, while you're watching TV, even while you're lying in bed. No one will know, but your body will certainly know. As these muscles get stronger, you will regain control, real physical control. Your bladder will empty more completely, that annoying dribble will slow down, the urge to go will fade, and for some men there's a bonus payoff. Better sexual function, improved confidence, and a subtle but powerful return of vitality they thought was gone forever. There's solid research here. A study in the British Journal of Urology showed that pelvic floor exercises significantly improved urinary symptoms in men with BPH, even more so than some prescription drugs. It proves that sometimes the best solution isn't a chemical or a surgery, but a reconnection with your own body. And what I find even more fascinating is the emotional shift I see in my patients. When David came back a month later, he stood taller. His eyes were more confident. "Doctor," he told me, "I don't have that dribble anymore. I feel stronger down there. I can't explain it, but I just feel like myself again." That's the kind of victory no pill can give you. What I love most about this habit is how empowering it is. It puts the power back in your hands, or rather your muscles, and it doesn't cost a dime. It's about reconnecting with a part of your body that has silently supported you for years, and finally giving it the attention it deserves. This habit isn't just about physical health. It's about reclaiming confidence, reclaiming a sense of control that aging seems to try to take away from you. And it's a reminder that small, consistent changes can create incredible results. If you've already seen an improvement from these habits, you're going to be even more amazed by the fourth one. A habit many men are too embarrassed to talk about, yet it is one of the most powerful weapons you have to protect your prostate. Habit number 4. Regular ejaculation. The prostate's natural purge. This is the habit that almost no one talks about, but it may be one of the most important things for your prostate health. Over the years, I've talked to hundreds of men who carry a silent shame about this topic, as if pleasure and health have to live in separate corners of their lives. But here's the truth, and I say this with deep respect. Ejaculation isn't just a sexual act. It's a biological function, one that has a powerful protective effect on your prostate if you allow it to happen on a regular basis. Let me take you back to a landmark study published by Harvard. Researchers followed over 30,000 men for almost 2 decades. They wanted to know what lifestyle factors could reduce the risk of prostate cancer. What they found was staggering. Men who ejaculated 21 or more times a month had a 33% lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to men who ejaculated less. And no, this isn't about having a partner or about performance or about youth. It is about the act itself. A release that when done consistently helps to keep the prostate clean, unburdened, and functioning properly. How does it work? Think of the prostate as a gland that produces a portion of the fluid in semen. When you don't release it for a long time, those fluids can become stagnant. Old cells, debris, inflammatory substances, they build up. And over time, that buildup can irritate the tissue, contributing to swelling and setting the stage for long-term damage. But when you ejaculate, you are flushing that system. You are helping your body do what it was designed to do. To cleanse, to release, to reset. Now I know this can be a sensitive topic. Some men feel embarrassed, especially if they haven't had a partner in years, or have been taught to feel shame about masturbation. But let me be clear, as a doctor who has worked in men's health for over 30 years. Regular ejaculation, whether with a partner or by yourself, is normal, healthy, and in many cases medically beneficial. There is no shame in taking care of your own body. Absolutely none. In fact, I've had patients tell me that not only did they notice fewer prostate symptoms after resuming regular release, but they also felt a return of vitality, a clarity in their thinking, better sleep, and even a lift in their mood that they hadn't felt in years. It was as if a part of them that had been sidelined or shut down had come back to life. You don't need to hit a magic number. You don't need to put pressure on yourself. But if this is an area of your life you have neglected, ignored, or been afraid of, I encourage you to look at it through a new lens. Not as a guilty desire, but as a powerful, natural therapy and a simple habit to maintain your prostate health. If you found these tips empowering, you're going to be blown away by the last one. It doesn't involve food, or water, or exercise, or even sexual habits. It's a 15-second secret I've been quietly sharing with my patients for years, and it has the potential to be a game changer for your prostate health. It's the habit that Mark, one of my patients, used when everything else wasn't quite enough. Habit number 5. The power of 15 seconds before bed. I want to end with a story about a man named Mark, a 75-year-old. Mark was the picture of a man who worked hard his whole life, loved his wife and family, and served his country. When he came to me, he had tried all 4 of the habits I just shared. He had followed them with great discipline. He had changed his water intake, he had walked after meals, and he had even done the pelvic floor exercises consistently. He had seen an improvement. His sleep was better, his flow was stronger. But he wasn't completely free of it yet. He was still waking up once or twice a night. He needed something to get him over the finish line. Mark's eyes reflected a desperation I had seen so many times before. It was the physical exhaustion of stolen sleep and the emotional fatigue of a man who had tried so hard but hadn't achieved complete relief. He had followed every piece of advice to the letter, but he still felt stuck on one final plateau. His eyes still held a hint of hope, but a deep sense of resignation was there. I told Mark about the 15-second secret, a simple, surprisingly natural habit before bed that required no equipment and no drugs. It was a habit I had developed from my clinical experience and my study of the body's chakras and energies. It works by helping to reduce prostate swelling, by releasing a natural hormone that soothes and relaxes the muscles around the pelvic region. Mark looked at me with an unreadable expression. What can something 15 seconds long possibly do? He asked, a hint of skepticism in his voice. I smiled and said, it's not about what you do, Mark. It's about where you do it and how you do it. It's a habit of intention and release. I guided him through it. I told him it didn't involve any strenuous physical movement. It was about connecting with a part of the body we often ignore. It was a combination of intentional breathing and controlled relaxation. I told him that it works by triggering a nervous system calming response, which soothes the tense muscles around the prostate and allows the gland to function more efficiently without unnecessary pressure. Mark tried it, and after 3 nights he called me. His voice was filled with a sense of wonder. Doctor, he said, I slept all the way through, for the first time in 10 years. But Mark's story didn't end there. I got a letter from Mark a few months later. It was handwritten. He wrote, Doctor, I am not just sleeping well. I feel strong again. My wife and I can travel again. We're sleeping together again. I don't have to worry about constantly finding a restroom. The shame is gone. I got my life back. Mark's letter changed the way I practice forever. I realized my job wasn't just about treating a prostate gland. It was about helping men reclaim their dignity, reclaim their freedom, and reclaim their happiness. It wasn't about selling them a new pill. It was about empowering them with the tools to heal themselves. This is a truth that I cannot emphasize enough. Prostate health is not a standalone medical issue. It is intertwined with your quality of life. It affects your sleep, your mood, your relationships, your confidence. When your prostate is swollen, it's not just a physical annoyance. It's an energy disruption, a life disruption, and it can affect everything. This 15-second secret is not a drug. It is not a blue pill. It's a natural release. It works by helping to reduce prostate swelling, by releasing a natural hormone that soothes and relaxes the muscles around the pelvic region. Imagine yourself lying in bed, just seconds away from falling asleep. Instead of worrying about whether you'll have to get up, you have a simple habit, a secret tool to calm your body, release the tension that's built up all day, and allow it to go into the deep state of rest it craves. That's what Mark discovered. And it is a habit so simple it is almost unbelievable. It doesn't require a surgery. It doesn't require a new prescription. It only requires a willingness to learn a tiny technique you can do in the privacy of your own home. I have seen it produce incredible results in men who have tried everything else, men who had lost hope. They got their sleep back. They got their control back. They got their dignity back. And you can too. Final word. You deserve a life free of prostate anxiety. I've shared with you 5 habits that most doctors won't. 5 simple, natural, and surprisingly powerful changes that have the potential to transform your life from the inside out. I've seen them do it for hundreds of men, and I know they can do it for you. Think about what you've learned. You no longer have to let your bladder dictate when you have to wake up. You can hydrate with intention, taking control of your time. You can harness a short walk after a meal to calm inflammation and support circulation, giving your prostate a rest. You can activate your pelvic floor, releasing that uncomfortable heavy feeling and reclaiming strength. You can tap into the power of ejaculation, helping your body to naturally cleanse itself, releasing tension and waste. And finally, you have the 15-second secret, a personal, powerful tool you can use at the end of every day to release swelling and tension, allowing your body to recover and renew while you sleep. But perhaps most importantly, you've learned that prostate health isn't just a medical issue. It's an issue of your freedom, your dignity, and your quality of life. It's about having the energy to play with your grandchildren, the confidence to travel and not worry about restrooms. It's about having an uninterrupted night's sleep, allowing you to wake up feeling refreshed and energized, ready to enjoy your life to the fullest. The daytime fatigue, the shame, and the fear of whether you can control your bladder, all of that can end now. You don't have to live with that discomfort anymore. You don't have to let it control your life anymore. You don't have to depend on pills or worry about side effects. You can reclaim control, and it starts with making a simple decision, a single commitment to intentionally take care of yourself. One of my patients, a 78-year-old man named Mark, told me with a trembling voice, "I thought the rest of my life was going to be living in fear and shame. Thank you for giving me my life back." His words have stayed with me. This is not about medicine. This is about life. This is about giving men hope. This is about showing them they can get their lives back and they can do it naturally. If you are ready to reclaim control of your life, please hit the subscribe button now and turn on the notification icon so you don't miss out on the valuable tips in future videos from Aging Health Vital Guide. And if you found this video meaningful, please share it with a man you care about. Your support is the greatest motivation for us at Aging Health Vital Guide to continue creating content that helps our community become stronger. Let's spread hope and health together.